Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with challenge accepted, and we're still working on 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, and this is day 23. The prompt from Scraptember is hearts, and so I've got a bunch of hearts and we'll figure out what to do with them next. I've actually got some that I could stamp that I hadn't brought out. I think there are some hearts in this set. This little string of hearts down here. I could do something with that. I am also doing the Monochromatic Madness at Dottie About Flair. And the color I'm going with is green. So I'm allowed to use black and white and any shades of green that I want on this. So I've got a bunch of stuff in a bunch of shades of green. Let me see that I have the right, okay, that's good. And I can do that somewhere around instead of these little straight lines across there. So we'll see. I'll do that in several shades of green. Okay, so to start out, like drawing a few interlocking hearts like that, it was just way too simple for me. So I'm going to do a technique that I saw Christina Sword use in one of her lives, where she took this mask or stencil and laid it over a cut file, which was itself over a piece of white cardstock. So I'm gonna tape the cut file down in just a couple of places, just to kind of keep it still, keep it from moving on top of the cardstock. And then I'm gonna put the stencil here of the heart. I need to be sure the vertical placement isn't going to be too much of a problem, but the horizontal placement is, because the horizontal part of the heart actually extends almost all the way to the border of the cut file. I'm going to tape all this down on my mat. Let me make sure it's all visible to the camera. If not, I will move the camera, and if you'll just give me a second, I'll get that done. And there. Okay, let me get this situated so that everything's in frame while I'm doing this. Okay, the cut file is a leaf cut file, and it's been hanging around for a while. And when I say hanging, I mean that literally. It was hanging by a clothespin from a piece of clothesline that I have strung along a wall. It does a good job of keeping my cut files out in the open where I'll remember to use them. But because it's humid down here, it sometimes allows them to get out of shape, which when you're brushing color over top might not be the best thing, but we'll see. I've got 3 shades of green Distress Oxide, and I have an ink brush by Pink and Main that was given as a hostess gift, I guess, by Heather of Heather's Crafty Life at one of her retreats. Has to be a couple of years ago now. And I've used it a couple times. I wasn't sure if I liked it from the other times that I used it, but I kind of thought it would be sort of perfect for this. And I'm just going to kind of blend different greens around on here. And of course I'm coloring the cut file. This is just moved. Okay. I'm coloring the cut file at the same time as I'm coloring the background, which is by design, and it kind of gives some interest to the cut file. So I'm just gonna kind of, this might need to get blended out a bit. I'm finding that I've bought some other brushes that seem like they maybe are going to be better, and they seem to leave much more of a hard edge that's difficult to blend. And I maybe have a little bit harder touch. I'm gonna try something else right now. I'm gonna go back to these guys, which are the original Tim Holtz brushes. So I'm gonna put that away and maybe try it another time when I'm doing something a little bit different. Do some up here. I'm gonna start on the stencil and brush down inside. Things are moving. This may not work out to be the best idea, but I will make it work, actually. Because even if it goes out of the lines, I can do some, like a marker around it or something that will give it this kind of look. Because it's like that, I think I can make it work. So use those two colors. Now I'm going to use Mowed Lawn. That's Lucky Clover, the second color I used. And the first one was Twisted Citron. And I'm trying to blend all three of them together. To get a little bit of a kind of an ombre movement from one color to the other. We'll see how that, we'll see how successful I am with that. Okay. I like how it's looking on the cut file itself. That color blending is really looking nice. We'll see once we do the reveal and lift it up. Okay, I'm going to say that it's pretty close to done. Okay, now we'll do the reveal, and see if I need to spray it with water or anything to kind of fix it up a bit. Okay, let's see if I can peel this up with my new fake nails. Someone mentioned the other day, I was going back and trying to answer some comments that I hadn't answered before on YouTube. And one of them was on a video that I'd actually showed my face, and someone said, look at this. Okay, so let's shake off the brushes, the brush hairs. Okay, I'm happy. That is beautiful. And I think I can maybe brush some of that away. Okay, I'm good with that. Now, the photo I'm using is Ava's facing this way, so I'm going to use it here instead of here, like in the sketch. So I'm going to place it right about there, and I'm going to sit down now so that I can do the rest of this. I'm going to cut some foam for the back. I just love that. So Christina, good on you. The one that she did it on, her cut file was a map. And so doing that with a map cut file actually was just extraordinary. And she did a big circle. So I thought I would do a heart and use leaves. And the fact that it was leaves is what told me that I was going to do the color green for this. And I have, since the clue or the prompt is hearts, like I said, I've got this little row of hearts there, and I'm going to stamp it in. Let's see if I can do twisted citron on one side, and then let's do mowed lawn on the other side. See if that works. Let's try it. Let's see, I want the... Oh, look how cute. Now that really does look ombre. Okay. Yay. I do these things on camera that I have no idea whether or not they'll work. And I'm always thrilled when it's decent and something I don't have to throw away or stop the video and go back and do differently. Okay, I'm gonna do some flare. I've got 3 of them to use, and I want to get them on before I do some of the other embellishing. That's the test, is can I get the backing off the foam tape. I'm gonna do this one on top of the photo, and then I'll layer some things underneath it. I'm gonna do another one. This one I may actually put a jewel or something on it, and so I'm gonna go ahead and layer it kind of slightly outside that, and then maybe I'll do this one layered underneath here. And that gives us that kind of a diagonal. I have this, this is from Redefine Creative, and it is a really thick laser cut wood veneer heart conglomeration of hearts, heart collage, I'm going to call it. And I want it so that at least one or two have the rug showing through. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the parts that are going to stick on the photo, and then I'll layer something underneath, maybe to prop that end up that's cantilevered over the side there. Let's see how we're going to do that. We'll do it like that. Okay. Very good. Now, my title is going to be this word, happy. And I cut it out of white paper with black polka dots because I wanted it to kind of stand out. And it turns out that it doesn't really, you can't really read it that well. So I'm going to do a couple of things. One is I'm going to actually kind of brush it mainly on the edges with some green ink so it takes on a little bit more solidity, I guess. And I'm going to try to outline it. And I'm going to outline it off the paper and kind of just doodle on an outline with this black pen. I don't know if you can see that, but let me get it up into frame. I think that's in frame. And let me get this running along there. And there. And I don't care if it looks a little bit messy here. As long as it helps make the word readable. And if it still doesn't look readable, I'm gonna just skip it, and I'll go find something in my thickers that I can use instead. There's that P outline here. I think it's getting readable. It's maybe getting there. My pen keeps slipping off the letter. Okay, let's see. Let me get this A line down there for the A. So maybe I could do it like this and have it adhered to that, and then maybe adhere right there. So let me do, I've got some glue on the P and a little bit over here on the H. Okay. Okay. That seems to work. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of sprinkling, splattering, if you will. I've got this Citron color from Heidi Swap. It's Heidi Swap's Color Shine. And I'm gonna cover this and just kind of go, and I'm gonna do it, each color that I use, I'm gonna kind of go unevenly around and inside. Okay, so enough of that. This one is Dilutions Cut Grass. It's a really bright, true, nice green. And let me make sure that I'm gonna try to get some down in here. And then this is Fresh Lime Dilutions, and it's a non-shimmery. Of course, the Heidi Swap Color Shine is about pretty much the same color, but shimmery. Okay, so now that I've got it all sprinkled up, okay, let me, oh, that did not move it too much out of frame, but let me kind of settle it in there a bit. Okay, and now I've got these die cuts. Let me put the lid on here. I can use my tweezers to get these out. I left my pokey tool up by the die cutting machine. I've got these die cuts. The dies are all still connected, so I use them on a sheet of color study scrap. And I was thinking I might just layer some flowers and greenery sprigs maybe underneath the hearts there. I'm not sure how many or which ones, so I'm just pulling them off, and I'm going to put them all there, and then we'll see what looks good. I may do something up in there too. I'm hoping that it isn't affecting how things are being filmed or the lighting or anything like that, but I've had to move a lot of stuff around, moving things away from the areas where the floor is going to get torn up to do the mold remediation. And at the moment, where that stands is that it's raining today and tomorrow, and they're going to wait and see if the drain works, because the mold company will not do their work. They can't guarantee their work if they're not sure that the source of the mold, source of the leak, the water in the house, is not fixed. So, okay, let's see what we can do here. I kind of like these long, slender ones. Maybe kind of like that. Let's get the glue. And I'm gonna let them, they're thin enough that they're kind of curling on their own. So I'm gonna kind of go with that and use it to my advantage. I'm gonna curl this one a little bit, maybe put a tiny bit of foam on the head of that flower so that it has some dimension. That's not tiny enough, apparently. let's see, holding things close to scissors and peeling stuff, things that are harder now that I have these nails. But they're pink glitter, right? So who doesn't want to see pink glitter at the tips of their fingernails? I haven't had like pretty nails since I retired. I used to keep my nails up when I was working, and I wasn't doing any kind of crafting, so there. Okay, so that's good. There are 2 there. I'm gonna try to see if I can do 3 over here, and maybe this first one that I pulled out is the one I won't use. I'm gonna put that one, maybe kind of do it like that. I may use this one up here. We'll see. Okay, and that glue is making contact underneath the wood, so I don't have to, you know, burnish it down or anything. This I thought could overlay those because it's a little bit different texture. So I kind of like that, and I kind of like the movement it has. Let me do this one. Maybe right there. And now I'm going to use this little green clothespin, which I guess is called a peg in the UK, and I'm going to do it on the side that seems the flattest. Christina showed us a trick one time for pulling these apart and using half, and it looks like a whole one is on there, but I never have had good luck pulling them apart without, you know, messing something up. Okay, so now I'm just going to start pulling the green bits from these things that I have. I've got this little green heart that I can layer on top of that flare, and there's nothing else green on here, so that gets put aside. I have green bling and enamel dots of different sizes and descriptions kind of all around, and I'm going to cluster a lot of them around the photo. Just because that's where we want the attention, and that's where I want it's also where I want the bling. And I'm just about going to use up all of my green stuff here, and that's okay. I have green Nouveau drops, and I can always get some more. A lot of this stuff is really, really old. Okay, that's kind of building up textures there. That's one that's emptied. And I have these 2 large enamels, which I'm gonna kind of pair with some of these other jewels, and then add a third so that I end up with clusters of 3. Okay, let's see what else we've got. We've got this one. This has a tiny green Jim, and I'll never get that turned over with my fingernail. That's just not gonna work. And I have to pry it off with the tweezers, and that's gonna be tough. Okay, come on, when I push it off, it's gonna, oh, there it goes. So where it falls, that's where it stays. Let's see. What did I do with the rest of those that were on that card? We'll work with these. Do that, and that, and that. And I'm actually gonna go down here and do that. And that's empty. And now I'll take these. This one can go there as a third element. This will be a second element there. And a second element here. That's not wanting to come off the tip of my finger. So there. And there are no more greens on there. I think that's a blue. There are a few greens on here. Maybe right there, and then another one there. Where else do I need something? A third right there, and one right there. And then we have this one that's going to kind of live out by itself. We'll do it like that. Okay, and that's done. So, I think we're finished. I was thinking I might also pull out some green sequins, but I think I'm going to forego the sequins and call this layout finished. I have this on here. I may add some journaling either around the heart or just kind of, you know, right in this little area about how much she loved making garages for her cars. She was always a car nut, and she'd make garages out of her linking blocks. I guess these are like giant Legos that little fingers can manage, or people with artificial fingernails. So thank you for watching, and as soon as I finish this video, I will be doing next week's Challenge Accepted, because I'm trying to get these done ahead so in case I get to go to the Scrapping Reflections retreat in Texas, in Sulphur Springs. I have been saying McKinney, but it has been moved from McKinney to Sulphur Springs. So, hope you enjoyed this. I actually just love that technique. So again, thank you, Christina, for teaching me that. So, bye.